Hi there, everyone. I'm Annalie with Broadway in Chicago. I'm super excited today to be chatting with the one and only Vanessa Williams, with one of the producers on A Wonderful World, with the new musical. Vanessa, welcome to Chicago.
Thank you.
Okay, so I know you're not here for a super long time, but are there a few things that you're looking forward to, like doing in Chicago while you're dear to work, of course?
Besides all these interviews that I'm doing, now I'm seeing the show every night that I'm here. As a producer, I want to calculate what the audience is enjoying and how many seats are filled and how well our cast is doing, if there's any problems technically. So that's kind of the hat that I'm wearing in this particular, in this particular time, not being on stage. But it's always a great city. So and so many shows have had their out of towns here. So happy to be part of something that hopefully will be received well, and particularly with Louis Armstrong, since he started jazz here in Chicago.
Absolutely. Can you share a little bit more about what it actually means to be a producer, and specifically your role? You touched on it just a bit, but for audience members, it's easy to see, they know, like, oh, it's produced by so-and-so. But what does that actually mean?
Well, producing is many different things for many different people. In my instance, it has to do with the creative side, working on the script, choreography, music, what's working, what needs to be added in terms of the music. As a producer, getting rights to songs. This is a story about a man who was globally recognized all over the world for having tremendous hits that people know and love over a long period of time. So when we want to hear one of his big hits, we have to go to the estate, see whether they will allow us to use it. Sometimes no, sometimes yes. If yes, how much is it going to cost? Or no, do you want to come see the show to show you that it is going to be important to the character and to our show? Marketing, making sure that people are aware of the show and want to come see it. Advertising, making sure we are reaching out to people across the globe, but also in every community, so they're allowed to come and see it, and being available for the artists. The great thing about my role as an actor and singer dancer, the first time I came on board and told the cast, if there's a problem, you talk to me. There's many actors who get a job and might have an issue, whether it's with somebody else, whether it's with the material, whether it's an environment. They feel intimidated by going to a producer, or as even a company manager or a stage manager saying, I feel unsafe, I have a problem with this, I don't want to say this. But I said, call me, talk to me, I'm available because I can problem solve. So there is somebody who looks like you that you can go for to help. So I wear many hats. So it's not just my name up on the poster. It's really important for me to make sure that I can put the best possible production on stage. And again, Chicago is kind of our out of town leading to Broadway. Once we get to Broadway, I'm sure there'll be more changes that we will make to make it trimmer and leaner and better.
A hefty job. A hefty job. And it's so interesting because I'm sure you just provide such a unique perspective, and it seems like you're a wonderful advocate for the actors because you are one as well. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, is this your Broadway producing debut?
Yes, this is my Broadway producing. Well, yes, for theater. I've done a television and film before, but this is the first time to theater.
Really like it yet? Do you think that maybe you'll want to take out other projects in the future?
Oh yeah. As much hard work as it is, it's extremely gratifying when you see an audience leap to their feet for a standing ovation because they've been that moved and that entertained. I love the casting process. I loved every aspect of it, and it's just beginning. So it's exciting to work with a company and see them get better and see the show improve as well.
Okay, now before we go any further, we have to settle this. Is it Louis Armstrong or Louis Armstrong?
It's both. He referred to himself in both ways, but to give reverence to him, I say Louis. And many people say Pops, Satchmo, and Louis, but I say Louis to give him some likeness.
Well, so this show is so unique because it's told by the perspective of the logs of Louis Armstrong. And while you were digging into these stories, is there anything in your career that maybe was unexpected that you learned about the logs of his life?
Well, I think it's a great opportunity. Chris Renshaw, who was our director, came up with the idea of having the four wives tell the story of his life in four different segments. He started out in New Orleans. So you've got Daisy, who was a prostitute who he married, and his mother was a woman of the evening as well. So he grew up in Storyville, which was the area that was rough, and ended up playing out in the streets and getting his first cornet from a local, the Karnofskys, who were a Jewish family that had a business in the area, and ended up working with them and for them, but also having them be a part of his life. So Daisy is a firecracker, and you will see her spunk in the first half of his life. But you also see how he grew out of that and moved on to his success in the riverboat, and ended up in Chicago, where he meets wife number 2, Lil Hardin, who is an accomplished musician, and she ends up teaching him how to read music. And they kind of have their own duo with their own band, and he creates jazz here in Chicago, and he ends up going out to have his movie debut in Hollywood, and meets Alpha, wife number 3, and really kind of establishes himself not only as a musician that he's known for, but also as the movie star in front of the camera, and then ends up coming to New York and really having the home that he's always dreamed about, with wife Lucille, who bought the house for them, and he creates an amazing neighborhood and community and hub that he is the father of, that he ends up educating a lot of the young kids on the street, but also really putting Queens on the map. And being a global ambassador. So you see his life through his 4 wives, and you learn his struggles. We go through many of his difficulties. There's an incident where there's a lynching that happens. There's the civil rights movement, where he's got to struggle with his own judgment that people cast on him, and how he moves through that, and his triumph to, when his body fails him and he gets sick and he's not ready to go, but you see the legacy that he's brought to the world. So lots of things that I didn't know. Of course, I've watched the documentary, which is fantastic, and read up on it, and been able to listen to so many people whose lives he's touched, who are living now, but growing up and hearing stories that their parents told them about Louis and the music and his virtuosity. He really was like akin to an Amadeus, who was doing stuff that nobody ever heard of before. And he was the one that was making those kinds of phenomenal strides, and that's what made him legendary.
Well, you're just coming from a run, and can you tell us a little bit about the audience perception and being there and launching this pre-Broadway engagement there?
Well, the funny thing about New Orleans, which I did not know and I learned, is that New Orleans theater audiences kind of view it kind of like an athletic event. So there's a QR code in the back of the seats. So if you want to order a drink, you're in the show, you press your QR code, and then they alert you when your drink is ready, then you get up and go get your drink. So I kept seeing these people, the show has started, I kept seeing these people walk up and down, and I'm like, oh my God, have we offended people? Are people walking out? What is going on? not knowing that they were just getting up to get their drink and going to sit down and refresh their drink and get up and get down. So that was, as a producer, I was like, what's happening and why aren't they engaged? And once I found out about that, I go, oh, they just want more drinks. So that was the big, that was the big mystery that was solved after I heard about this QR code bit. But they were engaged, standing ovations every night, and thoroughly loving the entertainment of it all. The costumes are extraordinary. The dancing is amazing. You get your money's worth when you see the gorgeous set and the level of production.
So excited. I'm so excited for performances tonight. It's so awesome. We're nearing the end of our time, but to round us out, to the folks who are thinking, and I'm not sure, should I buy tickets? Should I not buy tickets? Not really sure what to expect. What would you tell that person?
Well, I would say to the people that don't know who Louis Armstrong is, dip into your Apple Music and just pull up some of the amazing songs that you've heard and you didn't even realize that they were made famous by Louis Armstrong. His life is incredible, heartbreaking, but really important. There's a reason why there's a Louis Armstrong Stadium when you go to the U.S. Open. There's a Louis Armstrong Airport when you fly into New Orleans. He basically started jazz. He was the one who, when he got off the train in Chicago from New Orleans, brought the sound that is jazz. So you're going to see a show about the creator. You're going to see a show about his life and his loves, and you will be thoroughly entertained by the production.
So, Vanessa, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. So grateful. To all who are watching, come out, come see A Wonderful World at Cadillac House Theater until October 29th only. It's a very limited engagement. You won't want to miss it. It's starring James Monroe. Iglehart, come out, come see this incredible company. We have $25 lottery, $49 rush. Tickets in general start at $35. All those details and more at BroadwayInChicago.com. And we'll see you at the theater soon.